comment, I guess we can get into it when we talk about Section 7, but you do comment there will be no hazardous waste or materials used or handled at the temporary construction yard. Is that correct, or will you be...
The addendum changes to say, first page.
When we get there, I guess we can do that. That came out. Okay.
Yeah,
we'll address that when we get there.
Yeah, there is a portable diesel storage, small portable diesel storage.
Okay, great. Thanks.
All right, I'd like to open this up to the public. Any member of the public wish to come forward and talk on this project at this point? Please state your name and address for the record.
Sky Ainsworth, 2451 Hamilton Avenue, El Centro. I wasn't intending on speaking, but 75 to 100 workers, where will these workers be coming from? Out of county, or will you be employing local labor force?
The contractor will select his workers. Normally 60% come from local sources, 40% from outside is typical.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, we're going to go ahead and...
Yeah, I should clarify that 60% local Southern California sources and typically 40% from outside, which could be out of the Southern California area.
All right. All right, we're going to go ahead and start with the checklist. Anne-Marie, it'll be on page 7 is where we're going to start. Should you or any member of the public that has a checklist or the committee members wish to stop me and we'll discuss a check mark. Otherwise, I'm just going to read through them as our standard policy. Number 1, aesthetics. A is marked LTSI, which is less than significant impact. B is marked NI, which is no impact. C is LTSI, and D is NI. Any comments or concerns on aesthetics? Moving on to number 2, agricultural resources. A is LTSI, B and C are NI. Any comments or concerns? Moving on to number 3, air quality. A and B on page 7 are LTSI. C, D, and E on page 8 are LTSI. Any comments or concerns? Number 4, biological resources. A is LTSI. B through F are NI. Any comments or concerns? Page 9, number 5, cultural resources. A through D are marked NI. Any comments or concerns? Number 6, geology and soils. A, 1 through 4, and B through E are marked NI. Any comments or concerns? Page 10, number 7, A through H are marked NI. Any comments or concerns?
Just with 7, just to
On
clarify.
on page 14, or on page 17 on the answers, they proposed a change in the text where it says, currently says no hazardous materials or no hazardous waste or materials will be used or handled in the proposed temporary contractor storage yard and temporary use thereof. We propose a change to say large quantities of hazardous materials or large quantities of hazardous waste or materials will not be used or handled in the proposed temporary construction yard and temporary use thereof.
I guess, I mean, that's kind of misleading. I defined the word large quantities.
I don't have the exact quantities, but usually it's a 200-gallon diesel storage tank that replenishes the fuel in the pickup truck tanks, the portable tanks they use on the pickup trucks. The equipment is fueled by a temporary fuel truck that refuels the vehicles after hours. So there's no large storage of fuels in the yard.
So it's a mobile unit that
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
And it is stationed there at the, would be stored there at the construction site?
No, normally they contract that, it can be a contract service, so whatever local firm they would contract a fuel truck to come and fuel the equipment.
So the fuel truck comes and fuels the equipment at night, but it doesn't stay there over the night.
Right.
There is no tank sitting there.
Other than the 1,200
Other
gallon?
than the small portable.
So does it fill up that tank, and then in the morning, construction workers go then and fill up each of the trucks? Or
Yeah, it would refill that tank sometime
here in the day or
during
something?
the day or
and then at night they just top off it, so
Right.
they're ready for the morning.
Right.
No other hazardous materials stored on site?
Not that I'm aware of.
Any oils,
No, that's.
solvents?
Service truck
They would provide all
Yeah.
that?
they take the oil.
Yeah, they carry the hydraulic oils and take the waste oils, all the maintenance is done. The equipment's large and can be mobilized from the.
Sure, and that's why I would expect it to, there's some form of, I mean, the potential for release obviously is there, because the work will be done on site. So to say there's no impact is kind of misleading. I would see at a minimum it would be less than significant for LTSI. But nonetheless, you do have materials on site. There is a potential for release. Granted that maybe large quantities aren't stored, but again, the statement has been made as misleading. So I would move to have that move from NI to LTSI.
Which one?
Or Section 7 for hazardous and hazardous materials.
All,
A through H.
well, F, it's on, we're near
Yeah, you're right.
strip.
Let me look through
E,
real quick.
it's not on the list.
Let me look through real quick.
H, it's not near wildfires.
When we see it, let's see.
Maybe B.
Yeah, definitely B. Let's see.
B is the one I would say. Okay.
What's the motion?
I would move that, actually, I would, we're just talking about just fuels, right? No other products will be stored on site.
No.
That's, okay. I would make a motion to move just Section 7B to LTSI.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
You change the wording on the large quantities and some quantities?
Well, we can, whatever review, yeah.
That could be changed to, with exemption of this.
I'm sorry?
No hazardous waste or material will be used or handled in the proposed temporary construction yard and temporary use thereof with exemption of diesel fuel.
I mean, it's simply to say some quantities of hazardous waste or materials will be handled in the proposed temporary construction yard and in the temporary construction yard, or something to that effect. I mean, essentially that's what's happening, whether you have a mobile service coming in and removing it, nonetheless it's being handled. So, you know, I mean, we can rephrase it to that, so it's not misleading from that standpoint. Would you agree with that?
That's fine.
Large just makes it sound like it's, you know.
Well, and also that it will not, because it is, obviously that's what you're intending to do.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a temporary diesel storage tank that's set up with the proper BMPs, containment, the whole shot.
To indicate some quantities of hazardous waste or materials will be used or handled in the proposed temporary construction yard, period.
Okay. You all right with that? All right. Okay, moving on to number 8, hydrology and water quality. We're still on page 10. A is marked NI. Again, NI means no impact. And B is marked LTSI, which is less than significant impact. Moving on, still on hydrology and water quality. Page 11C through E is marked NI. F is marked LTSI. G through J is marked NI. Any comments or concerns? Number 9, land use and planning. A through C are marked NI. Any comments or concerns? Page 12, number 10, mineral resources A and B are marked NI. Any comments or concerns? Number 11, noise. A is marked NI, B is marked LTSI, C through F is marked NI. Any comments or concerns on noise? Number 12, population and housing. A through C are marked NI,